In South Africa, one artist is gaining recognition for his oversized woven structures which take the shape of vaguely familiar entities. CGTN's Yolisa and Njamela met with the artist to show us some of their work.
Kensana is a multimedia artist who is particularly known for his rope sculptures. His work is quite unique and very different from what we usually encounter.
His work is presented with familiar structures and recognizable characteristics.
There's one thing that I love about sculpture, which I don't get that fulfillment in other mediums that I use, I think with sculpture, it's a three-dimensional thing, you're creating something that, you're creating this figure that stands next to you. So there is that human interaction, within it. And it's amazing to actually work on something. It feels complete or whole by working around it, I remember I was telling somebody that I actually even speak to these guys. I talk to them a lot. And, it's really a conversational journey with a sculpture, because from nothing then you have this figure standing in front of you. Then I just find it, the interaction, the labor, the physicality that it demands as well. Going to sleep, it just feels like, I worked. It was a worth it day.
He hastens to further emphasize that this, however, does not mean that he neglects his other form of art.
And don't get me wrong, I think I love my drawings so much. I love printmaking, these murals that I'll do occasionally, and other mediums that I do. And especially when I've worked so long in sculpture, then I start missing other things, because there's always something new to discover in any of these mediums.
Kensana hails from one of South Africa's rural provinces, Limpopo. While his artistry talent became evident very early on in his life, he had no representation that mattered.
There wasn't so much, you just knew about Leonardo da Vinci, people that lived 500 years ago. Yeah, even far, it's not a reality, this thing, to you, because you only stumble upon it from here and there, but not necessarily, you don't see it alive in front, you don't see anybody doing this.
But he was undeterred and followed his passion. He tells us that he prefers to produce works that originate from his heart.
I'm inspired to make new commentary all the time, or even if it's the same commentary, but just do it in a way that it satisfies me at the end. I don't think it's always about the consumer. I prefer work coming from me and from my heart and from my understanding. And I think, I'm that guy who gets, a whole lot of ideas, and there isn't time or maybe not enough equipment or materials to do it. So hence I'm like, my solos are like, they generate slower than the normal pace.
Kensana is now keen to ensure that his art is accessible to communities who often cannot afford the privilege of purchasing any kind of artwork. Yolisa and Njamela for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.